Monday morning. It always goes so fast, right? It looks kind of cloudy. I checked earlier and the percentage, the chance that we might get rain before this afternoon was pretty low, but it's been sprinkling outside. I don't think we'll get much this morning. There's just kind of a quiet, overcast beginning to our Monday morning, to our week. Today we're going to do some hip opening kind of sequences, so stretching but also strengthening the hip complex. So that will include the low back, the thighs, the hip socket itself, the pelvis. We'll bring awareness to that part of the body. Meet me back on the mat. A couple blocks might be nice, but not necessary. I'll see you back there. We'll start in Sukhasana and adjust yourself so you can feel your sit bones. I always like to rock around, feel each sit bone, left and right, bring some awareness, some grounding. And then come to stillness. Find your balance. And move awareness up the spine, pausing at the shoulders, maybe to open a bit, elbows heavy. Draw the chin back and lift the crown of the head upward towards the sky, towards those clouds. Shoulders are heavy, crown of the head is very light. And simply breathe. Breathe with awareness. Let your mind ride on that breath, following the curves of the spine. See if you can visualize drawing your breath down to the tailbone, and then following that path back up the spine, out the nose. Remembering the curves in the back. It's like a little gentle roller coaster for the breath this morning. Now bring the hands to heart center. Now we're going to practice Ganesh Mudra. So this is Anjali Mudra, but flip the hands so the palms face each other. You're going to curve the fingers and then lock. Pull the elbows away from each other and then drop the shoulders without dropping the elbows. Breathe. Ganesh is a god that looks like, I think a Hindu god that looks like an elephant head and the body of a man. I think he has more than just two arms though. I have to look that one up. But that's a pretty common image with yoga, like Buddha. So Ganesh is the elephant. I've got one on the wall. I don't think you can see it right now on these cameras. Now flip and go the other way. So a little isometric pull. We will be using this grip in a couple of different places today. In fact, we'll start here. I want you to take the right hand and you're rolling the thumb forward and back. So it's an internal rotation, kind of rounding that shoulder. And bend at the elbow and bring the hand behind you. And you can reach over and kind of give it a gentle pull. And then bend at the elbow. And now my fingers are pointing straight up. Back of the hand is against my spine. And my fingertips are pointing up towards the back of my head. Just kind of wiggle into this. It can be to varying degrees. I'm going to take my left hand. I'm going to swing my little finger forward. So now my palm's up. This is an external rotation of the arm. Bring it up. And then back and down. And maybe you can touch fingers. Maybe you can come to that Ganesh grip. Just play. If you have a strap, it can be useful here. But you can also just grip your clothes. And notice the shape of the shoulders. So one arm is externally rotated, the other is a little internally rotated. This is cow face, Gomukhasana. Now we'll switch sides. Starting with the left arm, thumb goes back. So a little forward roll of the shoulder, bend at the elbow, and then help it out. I like to pull my hand over here. And then bend. Right arm, little finger forward, arm up, back, like you're patting yourself between the shoulder blades. Now one side might be very different than the other. Just see where you can arrive there. So this is the upper half of Gomukhasana pose, and we'll put it all together eventually. And then open the arms. Let's bring fingertips to the tops of the shoulders, do some shoulder rolls here. Bring the elbows towards touching, touch them if you can as you roll them forward and up. Let's go the other direction. And then swinging the arms up. Bring the hands together. Exhale the hands home to the heart. Let's find Ganesh Mudra again. Pull, little isometric contraction. And switch and pull. It's a whole lot of shoulder focus when I told you it was going to be about hips. We're getting there. And then come to table. Now once we get to table, of course, let's do some cat-cow, warm up the spine. Rounding on an exhale into cow. Inhale, nice back bend into cow. Forward and back. One more each way. Now neutral spine. Push into the hands. I'm going to reach back with my left leg. Come onto the ball of the foot and then push through the heel. We'll stretch the calf muscles. Now lift the left leg, hip height. I'm reaching through the heel. Reach out with the right arm. We'll come into bird dog or sun dog. Breathe. Feel that diagonal stretch across the torso. Reaching from the left hip over to the right, really through the left foot over to the right hand. All that diagonal stretch. Now bring the right hand down. Keep that left leg lifted. I have to watch my furniture here. I'm going to bring my left leg across. Let me come forward so you can see that a little better. I'm going to bring it kind of like a curtsy. And then I'm going to look over my shoulder, stretching through the left side. Looking at the left leg over the right shoulder, if all that makes sense. If it doesn't, just look up at the camera. Breathe into this stretch. Now draw, I got to stop and think. Draw your left knee up. So I'm going to bend it. So now my knees are stacked. We're working into the lower half of Gomukhasana. So my knees are stacked. And start to sit back. Take your time. And maybe you can come all the way back, maybe you can't. And once you get here, sit bones are on the mat. Your right sit bone might not be weighted as heavily as your left. That's okay, just be long through the spine and reach in the direction of the mat with the right sit bone. Now if this is too much for the knees, you can come into Sukhasana, crisscross applesauce. Just experience this nice hip opener here. Keep your feet flexed. Now reach out with your right arm. We're going to spin the thumb forward, internally rotating. Reach that hand around, pull it, and then bend at the elbow. Extend the left arm out, palm up, maybe even rolling that little finger back a bit. Arm up. Back and down. See if you can grip your fingers or wherever your hands land. So now we're twisted on the bottom and twisted on the top. Cow face pose. And breathe. Now unwind. Unwind the arms first. Come over the knees and come back to table. Let's do some circling through the hips and shoulders, kind of reset everything. And then back to stillness. Reach back with the right leg, come onto the ball of the foot, press through the heel. Stretch the calf muscles. Then lift the right leg. Keep the hips square to the mat. Reach out with the left arm. Thumb is up on that left arm. Reach in both directions. Now plant the left hand. Swing the right leg across to the left side. Look back there at your foot and breathe. Now draw your knee up behind the left knee and then start to walk back. And the goal is to bring your sit bones down to the mat and then adjust when you get here. So even if you're like this, you even have a foot like this, see how close you can get to stacking the knees. It shouldn't hurt. Should be a nice stretch. Keep the feet flexed, especially if you're deep into this, to protect your knees. Now the left arm, thumb spins behind you, the back of my hand, so it's an internal rotation. Back of my hand is forward. Bring that behind you and then reach back. Help your arm out. Right arm, little finger forward, reach up, back and down, and see where the hands land. Like I said, a strap can be nice here or just kind of hanging onto your shirt, especially with that top hand. Breathe up and down the spine and don't let that top arm push your head forward. Keep the head lifted. And unwinding, come across the knees and let's come to child's pose. Knees hip distance apart for this one. Arms out wide and arms out long, not necessarily wide. Shoulder distance apart. And I like to kind of inchworm my fingers forward and at the same time I'm pushing my hips back. Forehead can come down to the mat. I'm going to keep mine lifted for the microphone. Now press up into table. We're going to come into a kneeling lunge, bringing the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Keep the arms straight. So it's kind of a gentle lizard. With your arms straight, maybe even circling through the hips here. And then come to stillness and switch sides. Bring the left foot to the outside of the left hand and circle. Open those hips up. So hips involve the thighs, the back, pelvis. Where are you feeling sensation? Then back to table. Let's lift in a down dog and wiggle a bit. And come to stillness in your down dog. And float the knees down. Bring the right foot up next to the right hand, outside of the hand. Let's see if we can come down into a deeper lizard. Blocks can be useful under the forearms, or if you don't have blocks and coming to the forearms just isn't there yet, you can walk your hands out further and just gently come a little lower and lower. Getting a nice deep stretch in that right hip. I bring the arms back or the hands back to the mat and come to Anahata Asana. So from table, walk the arms out long, let the heart come down to the mat, really stretch. Sending the hips back and the arms forward. Get a nice stretch in the shoulders here. And walking back to table. We're going to bring left foot to the outside of the left hand. Maybe this is it. Maybe you want to just walk out a little bit with long arms, or maybe you want blocks under forearms or forearms right down to the mat. And maybe you can kind of stage your way into that. Feel that nice stretch. And then come back up. Find your way to Anahata Asana. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And back to table and up to down dog. Swing your right leg back and up and bend your knee. Now stack your hips. Don't let the shoulders twist though. We'll try to stack the hips, but keep the shoulders square to the mat. And breathe. Now square the hips. Step the right foot forward between the hands. Drop the knee of the left foot. Keep the left hand on the mat. Take the right hand to the right knee. And we're going to twist the heart to the right. And it can feel nice to reach up with the right arm and lean back. Keep the spine nice and long as you come into this heart-opening twist. Unwind. Now come onto the heel of the right foot. You can help your foot out. Blocks can be useful here under your hands or come to the fingertips. Flex the right foot, so draw the toes towards the knee. Squeeze the muscles of the right thigh to the bone. All that will protect your knee as the heart comes forward and down, folding over the crease of the right hip. Should feel a nice stretch in the back of the whole right leg. Now I'm pulling my right foot back without letting my heel move and drawing my left knee forward without letting my knee move. So it's a scissoring action to the thighs. 2 more breaths here. Now lift, and we're going to take the hands to the outside of the right leg. So adding a little twist to this. Keep scissoring the thighs. Unwind. Now come to the foot, the sole of the foot on the right. We'll shift forward and lower the hips down, stretching the hip flexors of that left thigh. So way back here. And breathe. Nice hip opening. Come back to table. Tuck the toes down, dog. And once you get up here, every time you come to down dog, I always move a little bit, sometimes a lot. Lift the left leg back and up. Reach, reach, reach. Drop the heel. Now stack the hips. Don't let the shoulders stack. Breathe. You can wiggle the left foot around, wiggle the left toes. Stack the hip, square the hips, unstack the hips. Step forward. Left foot comes between the hands. We're going to drop that back knee. Come to the heel of the left foot. Help it out if you need to. Draw the left heel towards you. Draw the right knee towards the top of the mat. So your legs are like the blades of a scissor, a pair of scissors. Now lengthen through your spine so the movement is just here at the hip. I'm not rounding my spine, trying to keep the spine neutral. Feel that nice stretch, and if you really focus on flexing the foot, drawing the toes towards the knee, that really intensifies the stretch. At least it does for me. Now keep the shape, except take the hands to the outside of the left leg. Bring a little twist. Unwind and shift forward and down. I want to scoot that foot in a little bit, and blocks might be helpful. Getting a nice stretch in the hip flexors on the right now. Keep scissoring the thighs towards each other. So these actions, these isometric actions, serve to strengthen the muscle. So it's easy to feel into these stretches, but if we're really focused on the detail and take our attention inward, we can bring strength at the same time we're stretching. And breathe. Come back to table. I'm going to move my blocks, tuck the toes, down dog. My mat's wiggling around. Swing the right leg back and up. Step it forward. Make sure you're on railroad tracks. We're going to rise up. Let's take a twisted lunge like this. So with the left leg back, right foot forward. Block can be under the left hand, or just walk the left hand off of your mat. Take the right hand to the right knee, push down. And maybe that's it, or maybe you reach up. Take this nice twist. Now unwind. Take both hands to the inside of that foot. So we're back to our lizard options again. You're going to stay here on long arms. Walk forward, noticing when you walk forward, the hips can start to shift down. The torso slides along the inside of the thigh. Maybe you come to forearms. Breathe. Bring the hands to the mat. Step back and down dog again. I've got to come down and square my mat up. It's really sliding today. Now swing the left leg back and up. Step it forward between the hands. Getting ready for a nice lunge. So railroad tracks with the feet. Scissor the thighs. Now the right hand comes to a block or just off of the mat to the right. Left hand to the left knee. Reach up with the left arm. Open. Lean back. Breathe. Unwind. Take the hands to the inside of the left leg. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you start to work a little lower in this lizard pose. Stretch. Breathe. Hands to the mat again. And let's step back and down dog. Come to the knees. Find your way to your belly. Let's do a few back bends here. So come on down. Let's do wide cobra. So tenting the fingers, or an eagle talon. We're going to bring the fingers and the hands kind of out from the armpits. Elbows are pointing up. Bring the forehead to the mat. And on an inhale, draw your heart forward until it won't go any further forward and you have to lift. Let's do baby cobra. Low ribs stay on the mat. 4 more of those. I've got 2 more. And find crocodile now. Stack the hands one on top of the other. Elbows are still out there nice and wide. You can separate the legs. Bending the knees and windshield wipering the shins is always nice for the low back. Tuck your toes. Meet me in down dog. Swing the right leg back and up. Step it forward. Now look at the back foot. Externally rotate it. Maybe you wiggle it out a little further back. We're going to come up in warrior 2. Virabhadrasana 2. Scoop the sit bones underneath you. Scissor the thighs towards each other. Feel that action activate the muscles of the legs. Now take the back arm. So that'll be your left arm. And we're gonna bring it behind us, reach for the fingers, taking that half bind. The fingers, if you can see my fingers wrapped around my hip, I'm gonna come into peaceful warrior. Unwind the arms, straighten that front leg. Let's tip over into a triangle. Take the right hand, wherever it lands, onto the shin. Left arm reaches up towards the sky. Stack the shoulders. And maybe even lean back in this a bit. Look down at your foot for stability. Bend the knee. Frame the foot with your hands. Down dog. Shift forward into plank. Drop your knees. Come to the belly. Let's do that wide pterodactyl cobra again. Maybe this time you come up a little higher. Let's do 3. Inhale up. And exhale down. 2 more. Last one. Hands by the armpits, tuck the toes, down dog. Now lift the left leg back and up, and then stepping it forward. Look at your right foot, externally rotate it. Get ready for warrior 2. Rising up, and warrior 2. Scoop the sit bones. Draw the legs towards each other. But don't let that action cause you to press into the big toe side of the back foot. Keep pressing to the little toe side and draw the thighs towards each other. Now take the right hand behind you. Reach back there and kind of help. Come into peaceful warrior with a half bind. And then back to warrior 2. Straighten the front leg. Lean and tip. Find your triangle. Trikonasana. Look down at your foot for stability. Unwind. Come to the belly. And maybe we're ready for up dog. 3 of whatever you choose to do here. Find a nice back bend. Tuck the toes, down dog. Swing the right leg back and up. Step it forward. Find warrior 2. Boy, my mats are really scooching on me today, and I think I remember why. I usually put the one that's on the bottom now on the top. I don't think I stacked them right. So come up in warrior 2. Now from warrior 2, I want you to reach out to the left, kind of a left diagonal. And breathe. Keep drawing the legs towards each other. Now walk the hands back. Rise up in warrior 2. Take that half bind. Let's take a peaceful warrior. And now take that same diagonal dive, and you can bring your right hand to the mat, or maybe you reach under the right leg and find Ganesh Mudra and link the fingers together, taking a full bind. Breathe. Now help yourself up if you need to. Find warrior 2. Feel the power in that calf muscle. Straighten out the right leg. Triangle. Maybe you're a little lower with your triangle. A block is useful here. Bring awareness to your rib cage, both left and right sides, and see if you can think of lengthening both sides. So our fold to lower the right hand happens at the hip crease. It's not a rounding, it's not a side bend. You get a little bit of flexion on that side, but try to stay long. Now turn and look at the foot. Bend the knee, step back in down dog. And swing the left leg back and up. And step forward. Warrior one. Cartwheel up. We'll take that half bind, which I just did backwards. Reach up and over. That was interesting. Now back to warrior two, but keep that half bind and then lean out here. And you can bring both arms out. In fact, let's do that. I think that's how I had you do it the first time. So reach with both arms. Now rise back up in warrior two. Now take your half bind. Let's take a peaceful. And back to warrior two with the left arm and then folding down. Reaching out, maybe staying there or taking the left hand under and finding that grip with the right hand. Let the head hang. Unwind, come back to warrior two. And then find your triangle. Straighten that leg. And the fold is here. It's not round. It's fold, reach, reach. And then when you can't reach anymore, you can start to tip the arm down. Keep the kneecaps lifted on both legs. Unwind, frame the foot with the hands. Come to the belly and let's find crocodile. Windshield wiper your shins. I have to be careful of my furniture over there. Now roll to your back. I'm just going to flip in this orientation. If you need to switch your head to the other end of your mat to see the screen, go right ahead. So on the back, keep the knees bent and walk your knees wide, and let's do a little windshield wiper here. Now heel toe the feet so they're in line with the hips. Knees are in line with the hips and the feet are in line with the hips. Now open the right knee to the right. And then cross the ankle over the left thigh. Now just use the legs to lift the thighs up. And I'm pushing the way I've been talking, I'm not mirroring you now. So I'm pushing my right knee away and I'm drawing my right ankle closer to me. Keep your right foot flexed. Now reach out to support your shin. So I've got one hand behind my ankle, one behind my knee. I'm going to straighten out my left leg. So this is a supine pigeon. So this is an option if we're doing pigeon and pigeon when we're upright on sitting down on the hips. Is too much, you can come down and do a supine pigeon or just the number 4 hip stretch. Two more breaths here. And then extend the right leg out long. Roll to the right side. Bring your head into your hand. Take the left knee up towards your armpit. And come into a fallen tree now. So lower the foot to the inside of the thigh. You can reach up with the left arm. Now slide your hand down the left shin and find your ankle. Come into fallen dancer. So now my knee is reaching away, like I'm Captain. What was it? Captain Hook, the pirate with the peg leg. No, that was the pirate with the hook on his arm. Maybe he had a peg leg too, I don't know. So fallen dancer. And then reach down for your big toes and maybe work to straighten that leg. Any amount. And then rolling onto the back again. Bend the knees. Feet and knees are hip distance apart. And we'll do the other side. Left knee opens, left ankle past right thigh. Push the left knee away, and now draw your thighs up. If it helps, you can push the knee away with your hand, but it's just a gentle opening. It's not a shove. I'm drawing my left ankle closer to me and pushing my left knee away. Now cradle the shin, extend the right leg onto the mat. Keep that leg active by flexing the foot, keeping the muscles activated. And I'm still pressing the left knee away and drawing my left ankle towards me, but my left foot's flexed to protect the knee. And release, roll onto the left side, cradle the head in your hand. And let's find our fallen tree, Vrksasana, and then fallen dancer. Grabbing your ankle, open the shoulder and push the foot into the hand and the hand into the foot, and really reach away from you with the knee. You're trying to grow long through that thigh bone. And then grabbing your big toe, or you can take the back of your thigh, you can take your shin, and work towards straightening the right leg. And release. Roll onto your belly now. And come up into down dog. And if you need to change your orientation on your mat, go ahead and do that. And meet me in mountain pose at the top of your mat. Now we're going to balance in those poses we just did on the floor. Shift your weight to your right. Come up on your left big toe and open that knee like the page of a book. Let's do tree first. So find your tree pose. And balance. Sway. Now bring your knee forward and cross into a number 4. And stay like this, or maybe fold forward. Maybe you cradle your shin and stand up. Keep the foot flexed. Now drop the ankle, but slide the hand to the ankle and come into your dancer. Bring the knee forward again. Lasso your big toe. And you can work to straighten-ish, or straighten if you can, the leg. And then back down. Feel the difference left and right. That was a lot of work for the right leg, the standing leg. Take the weight to the left leg. Open up into your tree. Knee comes forward, find your number 4. Maybe you stay here, maybe you fold. Again, I'm folding at the hip creases. I'm not rounding the spine. Find your shin, stand up. Slide the hand down the shin. Find your dancer. More breaths here. Bring the knee forward, take the big toe, and work to straighten. And down. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Lifting halfway. And fold. So coming to table, let's try to take cow face again. Reach back with your right leg. Lift the heel and swing it across the left side of the body. Now draw the knee behind the left knee and work to sit back. Maybe things are a little more open, maybe not. Notice the lower half of the body. And now we're going to take the right hand, thumb down behind the back, help it out. Take the left arm, little finger forward, and pat yourself behind your shoulder blades. And I'm working around my furniture here. Haven't been able to really open up. There we go. Breathe. Now release the arms, and another nice shape to take from here is to lasso the big toes. Lead with your heart and fold forward. Inhale up. Come over the legs. Unwind the legs back to table, taking the second side. Left leg back, lift it, swing it over to the right, and then walk the knee behind the right knee. And start your way back. Remember, Sukhasana is okay here. Now the left arm, thumb down, goes behind. Right hand, roll a little finger forward and then go back and up and down. Breathe. Wind the arms, lasso the big toes, and maybe you fold forward here. Unwind the legs, and before we come down for Shavasana, let's take Dandasana, legs out straight. Hamstrings might be nice and open, mine always are after that flow. And then reach up with your arms, fold at the hips, reach out for toes or shins, and start to pull yourself forward again, leading with the heart. And coming to your back, let's take a happy baby before we settle in for a few breaths. Draw both knees in, lasso big toes, draw the knees down. You can take the insides of your feet too. Whatever you decide to do for a grip, turn the toes outward. And do any last minute movements you might be craving, and settle into a little bit of relaxation. Shavasana. Again, perhaps letting the breath take that roller coaster ride up and down the spine. Inhaling and exhaling. As the breath deepens, invite movement back into the body. Let that movement be organic. Let the body lead the way. Don't even think about it. Just let the body move. And eventually you find your way to your right side. Keep the hips stacked, the knees stacked. Rest your head on your arm. And reach long with the top leg and push yourself back up to a seated position. Still very still and overcast out there. Gonna be one of those days. Let's reach up one more time. And exhale the hands to heart. May you have peaceful thoughts, peaceful words, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful world. Namaste. Have a great Monday. I'm going to teach the tone and strength class at 7 a.m. now on Wednesdays, 45-minute class. No equipment is necessary. If you have a set of hand weights, we can use those. But if you don't, that's okay too. And I'll be back here Friday morning at 7 for an end of the week yoga class. Have a great weekend. Thank you for joining me.